are. It's a beautiful day. We're outside on the campus. What does it feel like for you knowing the history that you have here?
Well, I mean, there's years here. I mean, I've spent a lot of time here. You've got the beautiful mountains and a blue sky and the sun. How can you not get well here? And then you have the geese who we share the campus with, who are here for the winter.
And we've always shared the campus with the geese in the winter, right?
Absolutely. They've been here as long as we have. But, you know, the bricks are the story of all the patients who's been here. You buy a brick, you put your sobriety date on it. People, when they come back for alumni weekend, go to see their brick. They know where their brick is. When people have passed away, I know people will go and put flowers on other people's bricks. I mean, it's a very emotional journey, and Mother has her own brick right up here.
See that brick, it's somewhere along here. I think it's appropriate, too, that these bricks are along a pathway.
They are along a pathway, because we all know our journey is the same but different.
Yes, exactly.
Everybody has the same thread through or whatever. Yes. They went to the Betty Ford Center, they went to Hazleton, they went to, you know, they've all gone to different treatment centers, but everybody has something in common. They're an addict.
And here's your mother's, Betty B. Ford, first name and last name, because she was so public, April the 7th, 1978.
Right. So we did the intervention on April 1st of 1978.
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day, bad joke. And she felt by April 7th she was clean and sober after her detox. So that is her sobriety date. That's the one she chose. The one that I stick with is April 1st because that was such an emotional day for our family. So, but you know, you see some that say in memory.
In memory,
you know? They're great stories.
And we know the nature of the illness. Everybody who comes here to the Betty Ford Center wants to recover, and many of them do. But it is a chronic illness.
It's a chronic progressive illness.
And unfortunately,
and not everybody survives.
But everybody tries, and I think
that's the important
thing is we're all the same in this pathway. Some of us make it, some of us struggle, some of us don't make it, but here we all are.
Yep.
So part of your mother's legacy is the fact that she recognized not only that women needed to be in treatment and deserved to be in treatment, but how they're treated mattered as well. These two units back there reflect that.
It did, and she was very involved in the change with gender-specific treatment, that women need to be with women and men need to be with men. And so she changed the campus and made sure that we have equal amount of women's beds as we do men's beds. So normally we have more male patients than we have female patients, but she always wanted to be sure there was a bed for a woman because they need treatment.
And we never wanted to turn a woman away, she always said.
Absolutely. So there is financial aid, there's all those things, and you know, when we get ready to do the renovation, this is where they'll be.
Susan, behind us is Eisenhower Medical Center. Talk about the relationship between Eisenhower and the Betty Ford Center.
Well, when we started this back in 1982, we were a part of the Eisenhower campus. It was the Betty Ford Center at Eisenhower Medical Center. We separated that after many, many years. Nothing bad, it just was a better decision for us. And so now it is the way it is, but it's nice to have an emergency room and doctors and all of that right here if a patient needs it, if we can't take care of it.
And we know our patients are very fragile when they come to us, and to have a top medical center right there across the little lake and through the shrubs there. Now those shrubs weren't there back in the old days, right?
No, those were added, and there's a fence back there too, because we had what I call peeping toms.
Paparazzi.
Paparazzi.
Yeah.
When we had celebrities here, the news people were always trying to get through and get on campus and get pictures. So, yeah.
But what's remarkable is, despite all of that, people are treated with dignity and respect here in the context of the fact that what is said in here stays in here. And
Absolutely.
We as an organization never confirm or deny anybody's presence or lack thereof.
Right. Now, it doesn't matter if they've gone in the newspaper and, you know, said, I went to the Betty Ford Center.
Right.
Our staff and our board and all of those people will never actually acknowledge it. Anonymity.
Always important when instilling dignity and respect into people who are on that journey.
Absolutely.
Here we are at the front door of the Betty Ford Center, the Serenity Prayer. What's the toughest part for you?
Wisdom.
Because?
Sometimes I can't tell the difference.
Right, the difference.
I'm kind of a control person, so.
You too, huh?
Uh-huh.
Let's go on. So at the front door of admissions, people will take those first steps in recovery here, and it's welcoming.
It is welcoming, and we tried to make it warm and fuzzy and inviting so that people felt comfortable, because taking the first step just to begin treatment is a big step, but it's the beginning of a recovery.
And there's a special section over here that's got a lot of the awards and memories of your mother and her presence. Let's take a look at these. I want to start, if we could, Susan, with that small white name tag there.
So that's back to the days when we were with Eisenhower. That's Eisenhower's insignia. And so she would wear her name tag when she was over here on campus. So she was just like the rest of them.
She really was.
She really was.
Now, of course, she was easily recognizable.
Well, yeah, because she had Secret Service agents. You know, she had her tennis shoes on and her slacks and a sweater, and she was very comfortably dressed. She didn't get all dressed up to come over here.
And she lectured here too, right?
She lectured to the patients once a month, and that was empowering to her because it reminded her of where she had been.
And I'm sure it was empowering to the patients as well to recognize that addiction doesn't discriminate.
Right. So, and you know, she would go and talk and do questions and answers afterwards and hug the patients and sign their books, and her heart was really in this place.
Absolutely. You talked about this being a licensed
Hospital.
Talk about that.
My mother went and lobbied to the state legislature to change the licensing for the state of California so that we are a licensed hospital, and actually the only licensed hospital within the Hazleton Betty Ford group.
Remarkable, and I think that's really affirming to people who recognize that, you know, you can come for this stigmatized illness, but you come to a hospital to get help.
Right.
In the context of the fact it's licensed as such.
So, you know, just one more thing that she did for patients.
When you see all of this memorabilia of your mother's legacy as a woman in recovery, how does it make you feel?
Oh, I couldn't be prouder. I mean, you know, I wish I still looked like some of these pictures out here, but we all do.
Right.
But I mean, she did so much, so much for the whole treatment, alcoholism, drug addiction. She did so much for that.
And what's so notable about these awards is that they were awards that were given in recognition of what she was doing, again, in this very stigmatized illness, this misunderstood illness. To change it, and to put a positive face, and an accurate face.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very important. Come on, we'll go this way and see what's down here. And so here we are in Firestone Hall, and here's a portrait of Mr. Firestone.
Yeah, Leonard was ambassador under both President Nixon and my father, and they became great friends, and Leonard sold the lot next door to him here in the desert to my parents, and so they were neighbors here, and then they were also neighbors in California together. But Leonard was the co-founder with Mother.
And a big philanthropist.
Yes. He and Mother would get on his plane, and they would fly all over the state of California raising money, and they had this little dance they did, and they were very successful.
Well, it'd be hard to say no to Leonard Firestone and the First Lady of the United States. I mean,
That's true,
right?
But he needs as much recognition as my mother did.
It's a fair point, and that's why we have this hall here named for him.
Yeah.
What is the role that philanthropy plays, fundraising plays in a mission of an organization like ours?
Well, the problem is the margin is so slim for what we get in for the patient care that we have to raise money because it's the other programs, children's, SIMS, all of those many other programs that make the difference to a great treatment center.
So here we have our children's program. Tell me what happens here.
What happens here is it's for children from age 7 to 12 who are struggling with the disease of addiction. They need help just like family members need help, but this is for a set young group of people.
Why was this important to your mother?
Well, we realized in all the research and over the years that they needed to be treated too, and they were too young to go to a regular family program.
So they walk in here having been affected by their parents' use of substances. They begin their journeys here, and when they walk out, they're on their road to recovery.
It's the beginning of their road to recovery.
Let's go on in and see what's happening.
This is a quilt that kids did for Mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To Mrs. Ford with gratitude from the children and families of Texas.
Oh, yes, 2000, November
Yeah.
of 2000. The artwork is really these are the
This
characters.
this is my favorite.
Yeah, look at this.
The stories that are told with this artwork is pretty amazing.
Oh, what is this here?
These are the tiles. These are the kids in one of their therapies make tiles.
So we've certainly covered a lot of ground today, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to walk us not only through the grounds of the Betty Ford Center here, but also walk us through the memories that you have of your family's journey. How does that make you feel here at the end of the day?
I love coming back to campus because it just has that special feel. I love seeing patients beginning their journey, or as we saw, somebody checking out and going home and beginning another new part of their journey. So it is something to remember, and it's a stamp on my heart.
And there's going to be a lot of change happen here with the renovation and the expansion and so on. But we're going to hold on, I think, to that, the essence of what was the spirit of your mother's life. I think that's what's so important.
Well, just as I said to you, I never want to forget that intervention in their living room. I don't want to let go and let God on that one. I want to hold on to that because it keeps me where I am.
Well, thanks for holding on to those memories. You really are the one that carries the flame for the family and carries the spirit of recovery forward from your mother's life to your life to all those people who will come through the front door. So thank you, Susan.
Thank you, William.